Hey everybody, and welcome along to this week's edition of the Irish Golfer Podcast. Peter Finnan here, and joined, I'd like to say as always, but it's been a while since we did this, joined in studio by Ronan McNamara.
I'd forgotten what you all looked like, lads, to be honest.
And Mark McGowan.
I definitely forgot what the office looked like. It's been a long time since I was here.
Taking care of business.
Yeah, I suppose we have to apologise to anyone listening that, it's been a number of weeks since we did this. We've just been here, there and everywhere. It's just been bonkers. This time of the year is crazy. There's been lots going on. You were in the States, Mark. Eventful, eventless. What went on?
Yeah, a nice quiet little 3-week holiday. Just touring around. No major incidents to talk about. Nothing.
Come back half the man you were when you went out.
Yeah. This is a slight change in marital status, but
good man.
Apart from that, nothing new.
Dropped it on everybody. Surprised everybody. Didn't tell anyone. Heads to the States, get married. Then Ronan, where have you been?
Well, I'd just like to say that while we took a bit of a pod absence, nobody came up to me asking where the pod was gone, so maybe we're wasting our time here.
No, I've had abuse. I have had messages, yes.
I've been a lot of places. Been not really enjoying my time following Meath over the last few weeks.
Kildare back.
Leeds fell apart again.
Been
at various tournaments, pulled from pillar to post. Made my punditry debut last week, so I've been busy.
You've been a busy man. Before we get stuck into it, then we better give the podcast sponsors, the odd time that we come on and do this, a shout out. So this pod is brought to you in association with Cleveland Shrixon Golf. Just as they do with Shane Lowry, Cleveland Shrixon have something in the bag to cover you right throughout the bag, from driver right down to golf ball, from their HB milled or frontline putters right through to the RTX family of wedges, offering tour position and spin, the ZX5, ZX7 Mark II drivers, fairways and irons, and the most important choice most people will make right throughout their bag is what ball they pick. So from the tour level Z-Star family, there are 3 options in there, right down to the 8333 or soft feel for the weekend warrior. So visit your local Cleveland Shrixon stockist to see how they can help your game.
You can't beat the 83-3. It's just such a stalwart of a
that thing
golf
has been around about 15 years.
They're a great ball.
Yeah,
they're a great ball. I keep finding them. I lose that many of them, but I keep finding them every time I go venturing into the deep rough. And I was like, oh look, the Irish golfer logo. That's one of mine from before.
That's one you lost. Exactly.
Max flies are still doing the rounds. I
can't
remember what PGA Tour player I saw last week using one, and it zoomed up. It was a putt that hung on the lip, and it zoomed in, and I was like, bloody hell, that's a Max Fly.
A Max Fly Revolution.
Used to get them as a prize playing an adult and a child competition in Trim, just playing 9 holes.
My dream is seeing a tour player playing a top flight. And then we'll know. Then we'll know we're fully back.
Oh God, right. Lots of stuff lots of stuff have happened in the world of golf since we last hit record on this podcast. Now, we haven't been doing nothing. It's all been on the website. It's all been well categorized and documented. But I suppose only today is a big day. We're starting into a major week. It's US Open. We'll be back later on in the week with a preview of US Open when all the pressers kick in from today. Today's Monday when we're recording this, of US Open week. But it's a big day for one of the biggest names in Irish golf, in the history of Irish golf. Padraig Harrington being inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame. It's huge.
Yeah, it actually is. He's trimmed down. The last time I spoke to him, he trimmed down his speech from a couple of hours to 30 minutes. So he needs to trim it down to 8 minutes for the auto cue. So he's probably in there now, still scribbling away, trying to get it down, I'd say, because as we all know, he bloody loves to talk.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's been so many pieces. McGinley was funny actually online. I'm not sure if you've seen that on Twitter. So Paul Kimmage did a piece in the Indo over the weekend, put it up online, and Harrington retweeted out saying the ultimate fluff piece, and it was all what all of Harrington's peers said about him. And McGinley came straight in going, oh, here, wait a minute, whoa, I thought you never read anything that the golf media ever write about you. And he goes, oh no, I didn't read this, it was a nice headline. So the boys were having a bit of crack on Twitter. But no, it's an unbelievable achievement. We've known about it a long time, but now it's happening tonight. It's live on the Golf Channel, I think from 12 midnight it kicks off our time. So you were in a round table discussion with him last week, Ronan. How did that go? Or
it was really good. It's funny, he was back home and in typical Harrington fashion, he was complaining about how sore his fingers were from hitting golf balls. Like, the man, there's no reason why he should be working as hard as he is, but he still continues to. And I suppose that's why we all love him, really, outside of everything that he's won. Just the example that he sets for everybody who plays golf or watches golf or wants to get into the game. I think he's a brilliant role model for everyone, and yeah, he's thoroughly deserving of getting into the World Golf Hall of Fame. Like, he's had a fantastic career, and the one thing with Harrington is, like, you think getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, that kind of closes the door maybe on certain points in your career, but still, always think one more back nine in the major championship.
Oh,
he
yeah,
can still give us one.
Troon, if it dumps down on Troon, he is the man to be following. Yeah, there's no question about it. No, it's what are your thoughts on him, Mark?
100%. Yeah, I mean, if he can get it, through the first couple of rounds of a major and like give himself a half a sniff, like, he'll definitely fancy his chances, and he won't shy away from the fact. But I mean, yeah, the guy's he's just a national treasure. I mean, he really is. Just during the week there, I saw one of his little videos on Twitter. He was in the bathroom with the feet on the mat.
That's actually very good. He had me standing up in the sitting room doing that. I was going, so it moves that way, and there's me moving my feet now. All right, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably going to be half a dozen people that break their necks in the bathroom, slipping and falling.
Bad ankles because
of this and everything. But I mean, just what a guy! He's just a content producer's dream. Like, you ask Harrington a question, the most simple question in the world, he'll give you a detailed, well thought out, like, extremely interesting argument or answer, and you just, like, he just does your job for you pretty much. So I mean, there's no surprise that we all love him. But I mean, to hold the special place that he does in Irish people's hearts, it's, there are not many sports people in Ireland who you could say are pretty universally loved.
Yeah, he transcends golf. He definitely goes beyond that. Like, and everyone, I remember back to 2007 when he won his first major, and Ronan, you were 3, I think, were you?
No, but 9.
9.
Yeah.
Do you remember it well? You wanted to put Ladybirds in the cup as well, I'd say, did you? No, but I like, you talk to people outside of golf and they remember what they were doing when Harrington was winning the Open. That time then he went back to defend it, and just how well he speaks, like how well he carries himself, how proud he is to be Irish, and the impact that he's had. And this is quite evident of all the players that you've heard talking about, especially Irish, and not just golfers, Irish athletes, Irish people that have knocked on his door down through the years and looked for advice on something, wrote him a letter, got a reply, got an invite down to his house. I'm sure Caroline, his wife, head is melted making cups of tea for strangers and randomers coming in just looking for advice off Padraig, that he just says, yeah, come down, it's grand, and knocking on the door, and there's someone else to see you. But like, he goes so far beyond any remit of a golfer that we've ever produced, with his global reach. And like, we've had really successful golfers down throughout the years, but Harrington just is the cherry on top of everything we've ever produced. Yeah,
and I mean, the fact that we only had 2 prior entries in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Joe Carr was inducted in 2007 posthumously, and Christy O'Connor Sr. in 2009, when Christy would have been probably in his mid-80s at that point. I mean, the fact that Harrington is still kind of early 50s, is still very much a relevant player, to be inducted at this stage in his career really says it all about the esteem that he's held in worldwide, not just on these shores. And of course, like, we love any Irish sports person that does well, we love it. But how universally he's loved is incredible, really.
If you were to go, like, it's always very controversial, but like, and we're very biased as golfers. Where would he rank? Like, and this has been done to death before, like, as in the all-time greatest Irish sports people. Like, where is he in your, like, is he up there with like Glenn Ryan and Willie McCreary and lads like that, proper footballers, or where are we putting Paddy on a list of all-time greats?
Well, look, Conor McGregor already has the Ireland's top sports person sewn up. I mean, that was confirmed.
His name.
That was confirmed a couple of years ago. People voted for that on Twitter. And I mean, he's done nothing in the meantime to change anybody's opinion on that.
No.
You know, he's still a gentleman and a
And a
scholar.
scholar. Right, next now. Proper athletes, right? Not thugs.
I mean, for what he did across two sports, you could say like Kevin Moran. I mean, to win an All-Ireland senior football medal and then, you know, play international soccer, play at the highest level in the English league in soccer, incredibly difficult and impressive achievements.
That actually wouldn't even get mentioned, I'd say, in a debate. That's a great show.
Kevin Moran.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, you never hear his name mentioned at all.
Just because he got sent off and the one All-Ireland he was in and the one FA Cup he was in, didn't he? He got sent off in both of them.
Oh no! Well, he didn't get sent off in the All-Ireland final. I don't think.
He did.
Maybe he did. But he
did.
He played an All-Ireland final with a torn hamstring.
And he battered a lad and got sent off. He did.
He played it with a torn hamstring.
It's the dubs.
Damaged it further in the match and still played on. I mean,
No,
fella with a bandage hanging off his head.
he is a good shout. Like I personally wouldn't have him. Like, you know, you've names Brian O'Driscoll, Katie Taylor.
I personally wouldn't have him. Who would you have then?
I'm just saying, yeah, like O'Driscoll, Katie Taylor. I wouldn't mention Roy Keane in it, but like a lot of people would. I just don't see eye to eye with the man. I think Alfinga Halland's a much better player. Sonia O'Sullivan, you know, you have your Robbie Keanes, you have people like that. AP McCoy.
Can't say Robbie Keane now, Pete.
You can now that he's back. He's back. He's going to be the next Ireland manager.
Seen the air of his ways.
He's going to be the next Ireland manager. Paul O'Connell, Henry Shefflin. Like, the list is endless. Of you know, you could. I don't know. Where would you rate him? Would it be into your top 2 or 3?
For most popular, yeah. For like everybody has the other sports people. You'll always find people that will, you know, you'll get the people that love the soccer that can't stand rugby and will tell you that O'Driscoll's you know, pampered or, you know, something along those lines. I mean, I played golf with Brad O'Driscoll last year, an absolute gentleman. So I'm definitely not saying he's pampered.
Where's his World Cup medal?
See, that's an example of the hater I'm talking about.
If we're going to judge it on medals, we'll throw Michelle Smith in there. She still has them. You know, you can.
Yeah. And a great whiskey woman too.
Yeah. This has gone south, lads. This has gone south.
He's got to be right up there. Come on.
He is. No, 100% he is. Like in my, like, I'm biased as a golfer, but I would have him top of the list because for golf, for us, he just, like, you know, he's the first European to win a major since 99 when he won in 2007. There was a drought. There was no one there standing up to Tiger, doing stuff. Now, these were in Tiger sort of wind down years nearly, 7, 8, 9, 10.
In his broken leg years.
But yeah, seeing what he did to Sergio though in 2 of those majors was just, I've never been as happy to see him. The one in the PGA that he won, that was the one where, like, the tongue hanging out on the 72nd hole, and got up and down,
crazy eyes,
like he just and Sergio dead, like literally gutted on the green. Like, how has this man done this to me again?
The Open Championship at Birkdale was probably the best golf he played. You know, that was a time where, I mean, in Carnoustie, you know, he had the tournament won and did his best to throw it away before miraculously rescuing it. But in Birkdale, he was just sort of nails down the stretch. I guess you could say the same about the PGA at, where was it again?
Oakmont, was it?
Oakland Hills. Was it Oakland Hills?
In America, anyway.
Yeah, in America. Good shot. But yeah, those two. I mean, yeah, he was just fabulous down the stretch, and I mean, yeah, you're probably never happier or never prouder to be an Irish golfer or an Irish golf fan than you were at those stages. I mean, everything that came after it. Rory spoke about this. About him paving the way for the success that they had afterwards, and you know, it taught them that this is possible. That this is, like, I mean, they were playing with Harrington week in, week out in practice rounds, and I mean, probably more often than not taking the money off him, but then possibly more often than not finishing behind him at the end of the tournament week. But at the same time, they knew that this was now possible. That this was, majors weren't just something that, you know, you go to and you play well and try and get a high finish and one of the Americans walks away with the top prize. Majors are something where we can go in and we can win, we can bring back, and I mean, you saw the success that followed. So yeah, full full props to Harrington for starting the trend.
No, it is class. What are your thoughts, Ronan? What do you think? Where do you stand for you?
I always hate these things. It's like asking someone your favourite golf course, and I can never come up with the answer. Today, I'd probably say he's number one. I wouldn't argue if anybody said differently. But it's funny. The two shots I remember from those 3 years, those three majors, are the shot, the drive running along the bridge in Carnoustie in the 72nd hole, and then the chip he actually hits to a couple of feet to recover the situation, and then of course the putt in the PGA where he really gives it the trademark Harrington celebration. And we saw a bit of that again when he won there on the senior tour quite recently. I'd say he's number one just because of outside of what he's won, like who he is, like what he's done for the game, as we've mentioned. Even now, like with the Paddy's golf tips, he's kind of universally loved. He's kind of this I suppose he's kind of in his dad vibe on social media. Like,
there's so much crap goes around about growing the game, and what he does on YouTube, he genuinely
grows
the game.
There's like 10 million views on those YouTube videos.
The bit like that Mark mentioned as well, that he kind of started this whole like major, I suppose, barrage for Ireland, like you Darren Clark, McIlroy, G-Mac, Larry later on. That kind of helps him in the debate as well, because he really did transcend Irish golf, really. Like, we were 60 years without a major champion, so he did kickstart the run. World numbers got as high as world number 3, but like what's admirable is he got the absolute maximum out of his game,
out of everything.
Whereas you look at the people that you might be weighing up against in this debate, a lot of them are probably more naturally talented than he is or was. Whereas Harrington, just grind and graft. It still does. It still tries to improve every day. So I think he has that going for him as well in the debate. The one,
and we'll draw a line under it then, but the one thing that I loved about I listened to the audio of the roundtable piece of you and a few other Irish golf journalists sitting down with him last week and talking about thing. And the one question he was asked, how would he like to be remembered?
Yeah,
and when he draws a line, and he comes up, I'd like to be remembered as a competitor, the guy who you don't want to play against in a playoff. And that's
exactly who he is.
That is exactly something.
That's why you think if Harrington gets a sniff on the back 9, no one's going to want to see him.
Yeah.
Even though he might throw it away, but that's what's great about him as well. He was always a thrill. It might go absolutely tits up, but he might get over the line.
He might throw it away in the 72nd hole, but he'll definitely win it in the first playoff hole. Yeah. That's kind of a way,
But it's really interesting now, and you won't be old enough, Ronan. If he was 9 when he won his first major for you, you will remember, Mark. We go back then in the decade before 2007. He was a bridesmaid,
Yeah, I mean,
and he suffered a lot. There was a lot of questions, a lot of second places, a lot of. We'll get into when we're doing a recap of tour. We have some lads that have given up big leads this week in golf tournaments around the world that we'll get stuck into. But yeah, there was a lot of questions around Paddy, and he overcame a lot of adversity to climb to the summit. And when he got there, when he knew what was needed in the process and how to go about. You ask Harrington now about winning majors, and he'll tell you openly it's actually easier to win a major than it is another golf tournament. Very few lads think like that.
I guess kind of the irony, as you said there, we do look back at Carnoustie and say, I mean, his up and down after the disaster of going in the water twice was it extremely clutch up and down. And if Sergio Garcia pars the last hole, then Sergio wins that major, and who knows what happens in the future for Harrington. He's definitely not going to Birkdale as defending champion. Maybe he still wins at Birkdale, and that's the first major, or maybe the whole course of Irish golf and history is different after that. Maybe Harrington doesn't pave the way for anybody else. Maybe we're still sitting here 17 years on, waiting on when is an Irish fellow finally going to win a major. So thumbs up to Sergio Garcia for that one.
Stop. No, it's spectacularly good. I cannot wait to listen to his speech. I just can't wait to watch the whole ceremony tonight, and then there's so much more. This is the great thing, and you raised it earlier on. Pádraig has so much more to give to Irish sport and the world of golf. He's 50 odd years of age. He's still quite a young man. He's kept himself really well. He's fit. He's sharp, and you just won't find anyone more mentally tuned in than he is in many sports, in not just golf. You won't find someone with a better mental game and a mental approach and I love what Scottie Scheffler in little ways reminds me a little bit of Padraig Harrington as well. The way Scottie was asked the other day in his press conference around, is golf easy for you now? And he's like absolutely not. Like, I'm going through this process. I'm nervous on the first, on this, but it's Scottie's ability, his thought process, his working out shots, his ability to think rationally under pressure when you're under the absolute microscope and you play like there's no consequence and you take on shots that you know the lad beside me does not have the balls to do. And like that sums up Harrington as well. He just never stood back. He was relentless in everything he ever did, and his preparation to anything he's ever done in life, on and off the golf course, just seems to be meticulous.
One of my favourite quotes from that Kimmage piece. Forgive me, I can't remember who it was that that said this, but they were talking. It was like during a press conference, and wherever they were, there was a picture of, I think it may have been Audrey Hepburn or somebody like that on the wall. It could have been, it was probably Riviera or something like that if you're near Hollywood. But that Harrington spotted a journalist looking at the picture, and he says, see, the difference between me and him, he looks at her and thinks, oh, she looks great. I look at her and think, she looks like she could play golf.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's him, really. I guess.
Is good. No, but anything else to add on Paddy?
I was going to say, like with Rory McIlroy, if McIlroy wins a fifth major, maybe a sixth, would he rank ahead of him? No.
I'd be a big Rory fan.
Just because McIlroy doesn't have the love of, say, the golfing neutral or the one who just watches the majors, who doesn't really play golf.
Going back to what Mark said earlier on, Rory's naturally gifted, and in so many ways, like Paddy was not blessed with the big. Like if you look at Padraig Harrington's swing when he came out on tour in 2000 or in 1997, 96, 97, you look at his swing back then and look at how much of his DNA he's had to change to get in the decade to when he won a major.
Yeah, McGinley said it was a block cut with like no real distance on it at all.
Yeah, like it is
high hands, high draw.
Unbelievable to the performance that, whereas Rory came out and he already had, you know, if it was a game of poker, Rory was dealt pocket aces and he was just waiting on the board. Harrington had king 3 offsuit and he literally came out and he got a good flop and then he just went for it. That's why I don't think Harrington. That's why I do think Harrington, even if Rory was to win 4 or 5 more majors, I would still. And I'm a massive Rory fan, as everyone that listens knows and yous know. No, Harrington is the pinnacle, just because of how he's achieved it, how he's gone about it, and he opened the door for these guys. He made them all not just think it was possible. He showed them what was possible.
It was funny, like going to some of the Irish Opens as a child, when the Irish Open was like in a bad out state. You were really relying on just the Irish players to show up, like it's like Richard Green and Simon Dyson competing to win it one year in Killarney. But you're walking along, and you know, at every tournament they had like the headline posters of all the main players. It was all the Irish players. It was Larry, McDowell, Porrick, Rory, Clark, and obviously not Larry, but all the other ones had all their major champions, all the pictures of all them with the majors, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
just putting into context that era, like we were winning majors every year.
Yeah, he was the first domino. That's the thing, and they all just fell after that. So it's so good to see. No, I could talk for hours. I know we will this
Harrington
year.
could talk for
no,
hours.
But we will get him this year again. I know John Craven did a piece, did a good podcast with him 2 years ago as well. We got a good hour with him, and we'll get him again later on this year and get him on the pod. But like you could talk about anything. You could ask him for a good cooking recipe, like he's going to give you a deadly answer. Like it's just bonkers. He's so good. But yeah, we'll draw a line under Paddy.
Yeah, I'm lining up the Israel-Palestine questions for him.
No,
I'm lining up
you know,
I could do with the recipes, considering I put like Christmas cake spice on my chicken once.
Yeah. What did I call that?
Tinsel chicken or something.
Oh, I can't think of it. Yeah, I can't think of it yet. Anyway, go on. Right, Memorial PGA Tour. Scottie Scheffler again, relentless in his pursuit of perfection. Where do we go with Scottie Scheffler?
I think possibly the most impressive thing about this victory is that over the weekend, what would you say, he had his B game? His B minus? I mean...
Well, his ball striking was there. Like, he was plus 14 in strokes gained approach on the field.
For the week. For the week, yeah. But I mean, the last 2 days, he wasn't...
Yeah.
He wasn't, like, perfect. You know, he was, like... if he was giving himself a grade, I'd say he'd probably give himself a B or a B minus for his performance over the weekend. But, I mean, he still won it. And even though Morikawa did get back level with him, and I think maybe Hadwin got level with him at one point during that final round, like, at no point watching it did you ever think anything other than a Scheffler win was going to happen there.
Bar the 72nd hole, he was under a bit of pressure, but he answered every question.
Yeah, I mean, I never saw anything other, even on that 72nd hole when he has a 4.5 footer, a slippery, nasty one down the. I mean, like, this time last year, you were like, there's no way he's holding that putt.
Yeah,
there's no way he's holding that putt. This time, I was like, there is no way he's missing that putt. Like, I was.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and I love. So it's taken me a long time. The whole of last year, I just disliked him. Like, I'm calling him Ned Flanders. I'm being very derogatory about. You know, I'm just like, there's nothing to him, but in some ways that's what makes him. You know, so and I love seeing the emotion that he let out last night. Like, he's starting to get very emotional around wins. He's showing you now. He's letting you into how much he actually cares. A lot of people are just switched on to him. Since the arrest as well, people that weren't into him on the golf course know about Scottie Scheffler now because he got arrested a month ago, and like taking notice of what he's done. I'm sure the Louisville Police Department all know who he is now at this stage. He's on every body cam that they have going, dash cam stuff.
But the thing with him during that arrest was, like, I mean, how at no point did he sort of like pull the, look, I'm the number one player in the world, or kind of like, I mean,
do you know who I am?
The guy, like
but even like, he'd never lost his cool or anything either. Like, didn't start shouting. The
interview in the police station where the guy says, "Oh, you must be pretty good if you're playing in the PGA," and he's like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm the world number one. Say it. This
he's too nice.
It could be the difference between you making that Friday tea time and not making it, and he's still, like, I mean, he handled that thing so well. But
that demeanour that he has off the course, the demeanour that he has to media, how he carries himself on the course, and then when you give him a number and put a golf club in his hand, he is just, it's chalk and cheese. Like, he is an absolute animal on the golf course. Like, he just... I don't know how, like, where is the ceiling for Scottie Scheffler? That's the thing. Like, this, we've been saying this now, it's 2 years going on. Like, he finished runner-up in the FedEx Cup last year, and he was statistically the worst putter at bottom of the putting lists last year, and still finished second in the overall season race. Like, he could have this wrapped up the way he is now. Like, I was looking at stuff beforehand. He's 2,000. He's broken 5,000 FedEx Cup points for a start.
He's earned this year so far. He's earned over $24 million, right? Yeah. Assuming that he's given Ted Scott his 10%. Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's giving the chaplain nothing after that.
10% on top of, like, what he already pays him as a flat rate.
But if assuming that Ted Scott got, let's say, 2.4 million, where do you think that would put Ted Scott on the money rankings if you went?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's close to making the Tour Championships. Like, Ted
Scott would be on 51st place on the money list, directly below Victor Hovland and directly above Jordan Spieth.
Like, it's mental.
They should let him tee it up.
It is mental, but, like, that's it. The gap now between him and Xander in second is, the gap from Xander is the same back to 50th spot Eric Van Rooyen. Like, he's just the one thing, like, he was there for the taking this weekend, and nobody stood up to the plate. That's kind of,
because even with the triple bogey on the Friday, I think it was. Yeah, he was level or one behind, and I kind of switched away from it. Then I was doing other things, and I logged back in at the end to look at leaderboard, and he's like, he's 3 or 4 ahead, and I was like, how the hell did that happen? And
that's the one thing that annoys me about, and that's the question mark I'd have over him. like the sooner the better, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in a while on the Live Piff stuff. But like, this highlights what has been stolen away from us. Like your John Rahms, your Brooks, and Bryson. I would say those three are. We need a villain. Like, we need someone in the room that's going to upset the apple cart. Someone that's going to piss Scotty off on the golf course. Like, Rory had his number 2 years ago, and you've seen Scottie Scheffler being opened up publicly in the FedEx Cup, and Rory gutted him.
But Rory had his number once.
Yeah.
Scheffler put Rory at a body bag several times that year.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But that's the only time that he's been properly tested. And you look at it now, he just needs, like when Tiger was at his best, he had Phil constantly chomping at the bit. And Phil Mickelson went on to do what he did. And like, Scottie Scheffler this year in the tournaments that he's won this year is a career for somebody.
Yeah, oh for sure. I mean, yeah, he's just like
it's astronomical. And that's the only question mark I'd have is the sooner the better we have someone that actually stands up to him and puts him under a bit of pressure. Chances are he kicks on and he puts them in a body bag as well. But
like, he's the first
he,
player since JT, like Justin Thomas, since 2017 to win 5 times in the PGA Tour, and I don't ever remember Justin Thomas being, as dominant as this. Like, obviously Scheffler's won 5 times already, and there's that, but still, like, he's just completely head and shoulders above absolutely everybody else, and there's no reason why he can't go and win the US Open by 5 or 6 shots, and we all just don't bother. I
remember back, like, there's been so many ups and downs of players that go through these mental purple patches over the last 15, 20. Jason Day was on a heater for a while. Justin Thomas was. Jordan Spieth was the one for me that was just different gravy at the time, because he was just, you just didn't know what was going on, what was going to happen. He was all over the shop.
It always looked as though Spieth's was kind of still duct taped together. I mean, it was like, this could, like, the wheels could, I mean, obviously they did go off in the Masters in 2016, but I mean, he used to just make outrageous recoveries from places where, like, he's
putts from everywhere,
whole putts from everywhere. Whereas, yes, Scheffler does make outrageous recoveries and things like that, but at the same time, you expect he never puts himself in a position where you're like, oh, he's definitely not getting this up and down. You're like, he's probably going to get that up and down.
Yeah.
And more than likely he's going to be in the middle of the green. More than likely he's going to be inside 10 feet. But if he does happen to hit it way over there, then, I mean, sure, no problem. He'll get it up and down anyway.
But even at Jordan's best, he wasn't the best driver. He wasn't the best. Like, his approach play was really good. He didn't miss a putt for 2 years.
Yeah.
He made it on the greens.
Who would sicken you more, Jordan Spieth or Scottie Scheffler? If you're competing against them, who would sicken you? Like, the way when you're playing a match against someone and they just do things, you're like, oh god, it's a real sucker punch.
Yeah, Spieth.
No, I definitely would say I would be more affected by Scheffler, because he's just relentlessly. He's longer than you off the tee. He's closer to you on his approach. He might miss a few putts. He's a better chipper than you. He's a better approach player than you. He just has everything. Whereas Spieth would give you a little bit of hope and then kill you on the green, and you just go, fair play, he's hold a putt. But then he does again, and then he does again.
Yeah.
Whereas
Scotty just... You could be playing better than this guy.
No, because I wing it anyways.
Yeah. Spieth would break your heart. Scheffler would make you just want to quit golf.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Yes, that's it. Like, it's just... But no, he's the first guy to separate himself this much from the field, and it's just a pity there's no one hanging on. Like, we have another 2 majors left this year. Like,
yeah, but he's
going to win one of them. Like, there's no question he's going to win one.
If that arrest didn't happen, does he win the PGA?
Yes.
Yeah, honestly.
Yes, because Xander would shit himself if Scotty was a couple more shots closer. He shit himself anyway. He got over the line, and he did... But it's just what happens. Like, I'm enjoying it now, though. I wasn't enjoying it last year. I'm actually enjoying to see where the ceiling is. How much more can this lad do? Can he keep week on week? Because he's coming away with a W this week, and he's coming away disappointed because there was so many problems with his game, and he's going working on more shit. Like, he's probably the first man on the range this week in Pinehurst.
I still root against him, but it's not at the stage where you hate watching the Dubs or Limerick, like, fucking sick of these guys.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just absolutely hate them now. Oh, they're all used, they're all knackers and whatever the hell. But like for Scheffler,
Jesus Christ.
for Scheffler, I still kind of want to see how far he can go. So when he wins, I'm like, all right, grand, on to the next one. Let's keep this going. Same with Nelly Korda. Like, she won 6 times in 7 starts. I want to see can she get to like 10 and 11 or something like that. Because we haven't had it for. I haven't seen it before. I'm too young to remember Tiger in his absolute pomp.
Jeez, you missed out.
Yeah, I mean the thing was,
I didn't. My dad said it was boring.
Stop.
switching off majors on a Saturday afternoon.
yeah, the thing within those team sports, there's so few variables in comparison compared to golf that, I mean, yeah, you expect those teams to win and keep winning, and they invariably do. Whereas, I mean, in golf, it's so hard to be
separation,
dominant force, that when it does come along and it gets beyond, it gets into the realm of this is extremely unusual or this is extremely impressive. You just want to see how far can they go. But out of curiosity, right? Let's say if I was to give you €1,000,
I'll take it.
So the US Open coming up this week at Pinehurst, which is pretty much going to be an ideal fit for Scheffler.
Yeah.
I give you basically at even money, Scheffler or the field. Who would you take?
See,
I'm taking
I take the field of the US Open because there's so many variables. But any other week,
it's Scheffler 6-4 and the field the field 4-7. Because the bookies have to make their money either way.
Shylock, little pound of flesh there going. It's a tough call. It is a tough call. It's probably priced around right. I
think it's 6-4. I would probably take Scheffler.
Yeah,
and I know he's going to be probably bigger odds than that on online. You can get better odds.
He's 11-4 to win.
11. Well, he's that's
so it's not much.
It's 11-4. Not 6-4. But at the same time, if it's somebody else's €1,000 I'm putting on it, I'd put it on Scheffler. I wouldn't have the balls to put my own €1,000 on.
All right. We just haven't been in this situation with anyone before, So it all points towards a Rory McIlroy US Open win.
The only thing that could stop Scheffler is Detective Gillen getting transferred down to the North Carolina PD.
No, it's crazy, but no, it is like it was like we're waxing lyrical about Scottie. We're coming into another major week. There were some other good performances at the Memorial as well. Like we can overlook some of them. Rory had his troubles on the greens this week. I don't know what would you rate his chances coming off that going into a US Open?
What he did last week is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's all about majors.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he has as good as chances as he always does.
Yeah. If he'd won this week, we still wouldn't have changed anything going into the.
I'd be going crazy if he won this week. I'd be off. I'd have him at 11. I'd have him backed into 11-4. He'd probably be 6-4 with the weight of money I'd put on him. But Shane Lowry's final round 85 is a bit of an anomaly. I like of all the guys I'm looking at, and I'd pick Lowry out a lot. Like at the start of the year, US Open Pinehurst, this is his, and I actually am more bullish on that now after his 85. He was on the lash after the
under-20s.
Won, yeah. Not just the under-20s. Yeah, didn't they win the Joe McDonough Cup as well? I'm quite bullish on Lowry this week at Pinehurst. He likes them to the hard pan type courses. He's done well around Kiowa before. A couple of years ago on the PGA, like he's been thereabouts on these type of courses. I think he'll be thereabouts.
I know, like I've talked about this. We've talked about this off air a good bit about every time that the commentators cut to Lowry and he's got a chip shot and the commentators put the curse on him and everything. But I think a lot of the time you see him on those in the PGA Tour, he's pitching out of rough and stuff. Whereas I don't think we all know he's a fantastic chipper, a great short game guy. But I think he's able to elevate himself above people on that kind of short grass or the hard pan. And so this course is going to play into his hands a lot more than somewhere like like
It'll
Muirfield
be
Village.
firm and fast as well, so you can chase it around
ground
there as
hurling.
well. Yeah.
He likes ground hurling off the tee.
Don't
Honestly,
hurling.
no, but that's the thing. Like he
yeah.
can sideline cuts off the tee, just get them in play, right? And like we know, Lowry over the last number of years, his strokes gained approach has been extremely good. We've seen then if he does miss greens, you have these sort of upturn saucers, runoffs, but it's not into rough; it's into hard pan collection areas. He is a master of those type of lies. I would totally agree with you on that. And it's just a case of the putting. Does he show up with the putter? This TaylorMade Spider he's had in the bag the last month
He's working for
him. It definitely is. Like yesterday was not a putting mishap for the 85. It was just ball strike. He just found every bit of bad luck he could find.
Yeah.
These greens were fiery and running off, and he was in horrible lies everywhere. He couldn't get up and down from most of them.
I think him and McIlroy were both dragging each other down as well.
Yeah. So no, I'm quite bullish on Shane. Wouldn't put anyone off him at, what is he, 50, 51?
yeah.
Like
Lump.
Great odds. Great odds.
Yeah, it actually is. It really is.
Great odds. Like he's not going to fear anything going in there. He's no pressure on him anymore. Like it's a total different conversation than at the start of the year. I was saying like 38 years of age, nobody gets better this time of the year. In fairness to Rory, he's given him a serious helping hand to get where he wanted to be. But with the pressure off, he is a dangerous man. And we'll do a little bit more. We'll have a PGA preview later on the week. But yeah, we've kind of got a bit deep there on Shane. But like, any other takeaways from the Memorial?
Great to see Barbara getting the recognition.
Oh God, it make you sick. Like it really
does.
I can't get my head around it. Like
I can't stand the Jack's place.
Jack's
place. What I really hope is, look, after Mr. Nicholas has left us, that somebody else called Jack buys the golf course, and just everybody has to just keep calling it Jack's place, because it would be really disrespectful to the new owner if you don't call it Jack's place anymore.
I just can't. Like, I have the ultimate respect for Jack Nicklaus,
of course,
but at the same time, it's overkill. The American way of doing it, it's annoying.
They go so far over the top. And I was chatting with Ron, just to switch back to the US Open for a split second, but you know the way the final round is always on Father's Day, and every year it's the same thing, the same questions. Like, oh, how special it is. Of course, we know what's coming up, and we know they're all going to, of course, like wax lyrical about their parents, but which
everybody
does. But I mean, just like, you can spare us it. Like, just fucking believe it.
I hope on Sunday Patrick Cantley wins the US Open and Amanda Balionis is there with the over-exaggerated smile. Well, Paddy, how's it feel to win on Father's Day? Oh, that killed you. You'll hate it. There's three things there that you're going to hate all at the same time.
Oh, there could be any amount of people winning it that I would hate. But yeah, that's definitely, you definitely chose a good one there.
Yeah. No, it's right. Moving on from Memorial.
What about before we go, what about the new and improved 16th hole? What did you?
No, it wasn't improved.
Think? It's an absolute disaster of a hole. When you see the lads they're laying up.
Scheffler laid up.
Everybody was laying up.
The golf course itself, to me, is very. It was nearly too tough. You have to be one thing or another. I'm all in favour of firm, fast golf courses.
Yeah.
But not that you can't hold the greens, and then when it does run off, it's in like
firm and fast. But there
has
to be a way to get to the flag. It might
reward precision.
It might be a yard square that you have to land it in, and it'll feed in perfectly. And anywhere else you're dead. But there was one birdie on that hole all day long, and the nearest anybody got to the flag was like 21.5 feet. I mean, like any shitty society out in, like they'll put the nearest the pin on the hardest par 3 on the golf course, and somebody will hit it to about 6 feet, 5 feet. You know, these are the best players in the world. Don't put the flag in a place where nobody can get to it and where people are laying up.
Well, and you're totally, if you do go for it and you don't hit the absolute perfect shot, landed in a lucky spot,
you're either in the water or you're dead over the back.
You're dead over there. Like, so, yeah, I just thought the course was quite unfair. It was a little bit too tough, a little bit very like a Bay Hill or something like that.
Apart from that one hole, I don't have an issue with it.
I like the golf course. It's just the setup.
That hole is shit.
Setup was a bit tough, a bit too tough. Like Pinehurst this week will be an easier test. Yeah. There's nothing easy about Pinehurst, but it's going to be a fairer test.
It's not your traditional US Open sort of setup. There's no thick rough.
Yeah, normally you get the videos that get released today of someone walking into the rough, dropping the ball, gone, never to be seen again.
McGinley spoke about going to a US Open feeling so intimidated because all he could see was this little narrow strip of fairway, then right and left was just graveyards.
Cabbage, like just pure hay.
Yeah, what you'll have here at Pinehurst is any ball offline is going to run down in through that hard pan sand and everything, but like there's going to be a bush that's going to stop it. So you'll be taking a drop, or the lads trying to step into bushes and getting thorns stuck in them and everything, trying to head out of it.
Yeah, right. Let's move on. Next, DP World Tour. We'd bit of Cummins and a bit of going on with this one.
Kevin's Keegan Newcastle who are coming down the stretch.
Like Sebastian Soderberg, 8-shot lead.
I felt so bad for him.
I actually did. I felt like 8-shot lead. And he got off to a good start.
Yeah, he's very well. I don't get it.
I think he was, and he's a good player.
Yeah.
Soderberg is actually a really solid, good player.
Did you see the DP World Tour tweeted out kind of early this round, like he might have been like a hole or two in, and they're like, what score is he going to be today? And they were like minus 30 or better, minus 27 or better, there was like minus 21 or better was the was the bottom thing. And what did he finish at? Was it minus 16?
Yeah,
yeah, like 70s.
He's won before. It's different. Like that's the thing. He's won before. He's done this. He's
87th in the world.
Yeah,
he's like random fella you pick up off the street.
Yeah,
but and his front nine was grand. He was one over turning. When you have an 8-shot lead, that's pretty okay. Then he bogeyed 13, bogeyed 15, double the last.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's obviously, as you just rightly pointed out, he is an excellent player. And I mean, this has the potential to be like something that he never recovers from.
I think it makes him.
Possibly,
I think it makes him.
Possibly, it could.
Yeah,
and
I hope it does.
And if great insight into two of your mindsets here.
He'll kick on. He'll kick on.
He's done. He's done. He's finished.
Lynn Grant, didn't she chip in on the last for a birdie? I'd say she didn't give a shite to that.
No. That's it. She was like, Grant. And then your man starts pegging shots away again, and she goes, if
she's under pressure, she doesn't chip that in.
No, yeah, she's thinking I might get a nice little paycheck for finishing second here if I chip this in.
Yeah. You have to give Lynn Grant credit that at least she put the pressure on.
Yeah,
she
absolutely.
Posted a score nice and early, did what she did, like 7 under. In those conditions were tough as well. In the morning time especially, she was teeing off a little bit earlier, but she was 11 shots behind starting off.
I mean, we've spoken about that. Maybe that's the way that Rory wins a major. That he
well, it absolutely is the way he wins a major. But you're not going to have Scottie Scheffler is not going to do what Soderberg did ever.
If he did, it would be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
I mean, Spieth did it, I suppose. Like in 2016, he was leading by 5 through 11, and Danny Willett's got a green jacket because of it. Like,
but that's up there with the best. Like, it's up there with the biggest collapses in golf I can ever remember. And that's why I hope he just gets back on the horse quick.
But I mean, Martin Keimer had a similar one. No, he didn't have the final hole collapse but Martin Keimer led by 10 shots in Abu Dhabi. This could have been like maybe 2015, 2016. It might have been.
Gary Stahl pipped him.
Yeah, I mean, Keimer was a killer at the time, just a machine. He was a 2-time major champion. He'd recently won the Players' Championship as well, and he was 10 shots clear at a golf course where he'd won on like 3 or 4 times before, and it was like, so this tournament is so far over.
It was before we had like cameras in every hole that we could see every shot and shot tracer and all that, so no one could. P. Reid was like, he was able to do his own thing out there.
But Keimer never recovered from that. Keimer's never won another tournament since. And Martin Keimer was then a much better player than Sebastian Soderberg is at present.
That was only 6 months after he won his US Open, so this is like him in his prime.
Who now?
Keimer.
And he hasn't won since that. Did you put up a piece during the week on that?
Yeah. And he said it kind of irks him.
He hasn't won.
But he got his team week win this week. Cleeks,
Listen, don't get in early now. Don't get in early. There's enough Cleek cheering now in a minute.
Premature pop there, the champagne cork.
Yeah, we had, you could go into it to death. Fair play to Lynn Grant. Yeah, it's going to go either one way or the other for Soderberg. I hope he he moves on from it fairly quick, and I think he will be dangerous. If you look at like what he did, 63, 66, 66 in the opening rounds, and then oh no, here we go now.
Out of a tenner with you.
That he'll never win again.
Career wins moving on from Soderbergh 0.
He will win again.
He'll never win again.
I'll have a tenner with you. He will win again.
I hope I lose it. I actually would like to see him.
33 though,
I would like
the
to
years are ticking by.
I would like to see him, but it has to be like a DP World Tour or PGA Tour. No challenge. No challenge.
We're not counting Matteo Manasaro job here. That I'm going to collect this bet in about 15 years'
He's not
time.
dropping down to the Clutch Pro Tour.
I'll collect that tenner off when the week after he turns 50, he's going to win in the Champions Tour. And I'll be like, there's his win. Right, yeah, we had a few Irish in the field in this as well. So Lauren Walsh, only one. Was it only Lauren? So Lauren got off to a great start. Dropped back a little after that, but still showing some signs. 2 rounds under par, 67 to open with, which was a shot off the lead, I think, or 2 shots off the lead at the start,
I think she was only a shot off the lead after day one. Went a little bit downhill from there, but it's a tough, particularly for a female, and particularly for a rookie female. It's a tough position to be in. There's a kind of like a lot more added pressure. There's a lot more eyeballs on you. And I mean, her opening round was extremely impressive, and she can take great heart from that. It just didn't go her way afterwards. I mean, she kind of got off to poor starts in each of the following 3 rounds, and just could never really recover from them. Yeah. That was the issue. I mean, if you take away the first 2 or 3 holes she played on each of the following 3 days, then she had a great week. But just those couple of 2 or 3 holes killed her each day. So, and
she'll learn from that. She'll learn from being in those experiences and being there. That I lost this at the start of the round. It's a nerve settling thing. Just get into it quicker. And
absolutely. I mean, you're talking like your average crowd on an LET event. I mean, the Irish Open, every time the Women's Irish Open is held, all the players talk about it. We never play in front of crowds like this. And so she would have never played in front of the crowds like they had at the Scandinavian Mix, because it is a very popular event. There's great crowds at it. So, as you said, it's a learning curve. She'll kick on. She'll kick on, as the man says. Challenge Tour. Gaza Hurley, Gary Hurley. I mean, close. He's kind of been in the wilderness for a while. He hasn't been playing much. He's back on the horse now. He definitely scared the winner. I mean, he absolutely did. He asked the question. He absolutely did. I mean, this scoring was pretty over the particularly in the middle two rounds in this tournament. Like the wind was up. It was difficult scoring. So he went 67, opened with a 67, then went 71, 70. But that was like this. Went into the final day 4 shots back. He was tied for second, but he was 4 shots back. So he was hoping the leading guy, Jonathan Rasmussen or something like that. His name is. I'm sorry. It was apologies to our big Danish audience. I absolutely butchered that one. But yeah, he was hoping he was going to do a Soderbergh and collapse. But I mean, basically, he had to go out and had to shoot a really low round and hope for the best. And he went out and shot 66, which was the best score of the day by anybody that was in anywhere near the top of the leaderboard. So, and just came up a shot shy. The other guy parred like the last 4 or 5 holes, and knowing that Hurley was in the clubhouse ahead of him, he parred the last 2 to win it by 1. So you can't take anything away from him. He did what he had to do, but Hurley really put the screw on him, and he actually mentioned Hurley in his post round, saying
he was keeping an eye on him.
He says I could see him, like he really put it up to me, and like, but yeah, put the shits up him. So yeah, and he's moved up, Gary Hurley, with that points as well. He's moved up inside the top 20 on the Challenge Tour Order of Merit. So Gary Hurley has a serious game there to kick on with. So I've every confidence that Gary will be one of the players there with Conor Purcell at the end of the year that will be challenging for those top 20 spots and move up to the DP World Tour again. Yeah, I mean the 20 is going to go up automatically. I think Purcell is now 24th.
Yeah,
either the 23rd or 24th.
23rd, yeah.
So I mean
Gary's 57th, Pete. You're a bit off there with your 20.
Gary was 57th. He's up.
He's up to 18th now.
He rose 39
Did he?
spots.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it here. It says 57.
Yeah, that was before this week's. There was a tournament on the weekend. He finished second in Rona.
Oh, was there? Yeah.
Look up the old road from Larkin there. Remember that tournament you were over at there last year?
I only went for one
You
day.
were wearing your blue jumper. Do you remember that?
Oh, he
Yeah.
is 18th, yeah.
So I was wondering why you were nodding your head there in front of me. I was
Apology accepted.
yeah, that's no problem. Do you want to publicly state how sorry you are?
Not really, no.
Yeah, so no, he's done. Like, he picked up a lot of points, picked up 30 grand of prize money as well for that. So yeah, I think he'll do damage from here on in. Where else are we going? Where to next? Roundup. We start off with the LPGA, right? We're going to general roundup. So again, this was a post score early, do damage, go home,
a Swedish double,
have a cup of tea, have dinner, have dessert, have a practice round, and then come back in. Like, so, Linnea Strom shot 11 under 60 on Sunday. She was 7 strokes back in the ShopRite LPGA Classic, claimed her first LPGA Tour title. She made the cut on the number, and she teed off at 8:20 a.m. on 3 hours 40 minutes before the final group. She started Sunday in a tie for 52nd. And shot 60 and won. This is crazy.
It's just ridiculous.
It's, yeah.
It is crazy.
I mean, imagine being Ayaka Furuwe or Megan Kang shooting 65, 66 in the final round and not winning.
Yeah.
But I mean, we always talk about, so if somebody can get out early and post a number. I mean, and it pretty much never happens. Or somebody's
from there,
or somebody's starting to go low, and then they cover the front 9 and 7 under, and you start to get excited, and then next thing a double bogey out of nowhere, and that's game over, ball burst. But yeah, to see somebody actually go out, do it, and go on and win the tournament, it's absolutely fantastic.
It's crazy, great to see. Steph Meadow missed a cut. No Leona last week. She's back in this week. Yeah,
Yeah, she'll be defending her title at the. What do you call it? The Meyer LPGA Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a great final round last year herself to kind of come from behind and win that. So Steph missed the cut by 1, I think.
By 1, yeah.
She's kind of struggled to get the kind of momentum going this year. I mean, at the start of the year, she was kind of weeks between starts as the LPGA Tour kind of goes over to Asia.
Marriage will do that to you, Mark. You're a freshly married man. She's only a freshly married woman there a year. Marriage will do it to you.
Amen to that. Yeah, my consistency's gone to but yeah, I mean, then she had to withdraw from the US Women's Open from I think she had maybe caught a stomach bug or food poisoning or something like that. So it's very hard to get sort of into a run of form whenever it's kind of stop start like that. So I mean, you can't criticize her. Can't criticize her, but missing the cut by one's, one shot better off and a good weekend, and all of a sudden it's a fantastic week, and it's just every week half the field misses the cut. She just happened to be on the wrong side of it this time. So
yeah, you just hope she needs to find something fairly soon form wise, because she's sliding down the rankings the wrong side of where she needs to be to retain her card and do what she needs to do. So yeah, hopefully she does. Looking at the rest of Roundup then, Live Golf.
Yeah, the cliques are back.
Cliques are back. You were a clique. You were a clique in the original thing, weren't you?
The swing picker.
I decided I picked the range goats.
Yeah, you turned to the Ranger goats then.
You abandoned your true love.
Won by a couple of shots. They were 33 under. It's weird. They were 17 under after round 1. Then they were only 4 under combined for the second round. So they must have had an awful day. Then they came back with a 12 under. Martin Keimer, Richard Bland, Adrian Moronk and Kella Samoya outdone Brooks Koepka, Gooch, Kokrak and our own Graham McDowell. It was a good week for actually McDowell in general. He was the top scoring man for Smash GC 10 under par, share of 6th place.
They got to $700,000 for that. Look, and the team money.
But he's been all right this year.
He's been very good.
He's been all right. Yeah.
I mean, like Koepka got him on a free transfer on the old Bosman ruling. Like, you know, he's
as good a signing as James Miller.
I was going to say.
Nah, stop. It's just, come on, right? We can do better than that.
Joe Massive.
But yeah, Ram out with injury is a big one. Like pulling out. I don't know.
Foot infection.
Yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah, but there was a video of him on Friday, I think it was. He hit a shot into one of the par trees, and there was a huge grimace from him. He was grabbing his back and all sorts. So, like, things didn't really look right for him there.
Plus, it was like fucking 600 degrees in Houston. And
not his style.
He does not look happy, lads.
But I mean, he's got the US Open coming up this week. He probably is feeling a little niggle, and he's like, you know what?
I need an extra day off here.
Screw this, right? There's nowhere. This is not going to help me win the US Open in any way. Here playing golf in this.
But he is the only one, right? He's the only one of everybody that's went. Bar Taylor Gooch. He's the only one of anybody that's went that actually is looking. I think is looking back and saying, I have made an absolute catastrophic mistake here. I don't like what I'm part of. I don't like what I'm doing. I missed that, and I just want to go back. I think he's the only one that visually, like, you take... I think Bryson has gone from strength to strength on it. Everyone loves Bryson now.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
Like, everyone loves a bit of Bryson.
Makes no odds to Koepka because he didn't care about the PGA Tour anyway.
Dustin Johnson doesn't care less. He's just like, he doesn't even practice anymore.
Wait a minute.
Whereas John Rahm,
more money.
Yeah, John Rahm, I think, is deep in the regret stage.
I would say Rahm has probably realised that the money that he got to go
would have
there
made anyway
hasn't changed his life in one thing. There's nothing that he
it's made it worse.
doing now, or there's nothing that he can do now that he couldn't do before. So,
but Kepa's grandkids can do a lot more. Like, his father's father did something really good, and now they're all rich. So I don't know. Yeah.
That's definitely true. But in the here and now, and Rahm definitely strikes me as a man who lives with the here and now.
Yeah.
So he doesn't look at, you know what, I'll grow. You know, that shot that I missed there will be character building. No, he hits that bad shot and he goes, fuck.
Yeah, there's some great hot mics on Live. That's the one.
It's fantastic.
Lucas Herbert had a great one.
That was so good. It was like someone was interviewing him, like Amanda was on the green with the mic in his mouth, and he's just like, so what are your reaction to that? But
I particularly liked he delayed. He didn't do it straight away.
Yeah.
He just like gave it a split second. He turned away, and then
surely they'll be gone. No, they're still here. But yeah, Carlos Ortiz win. You know,
who gives a damn?
I wouldn't get out of bed to watch Carlos Ortiz play golf
in your backyard.
No, if he was in my backyard, I
watched the last hole. As soon as Scheffler hold the putt at the Memorial, didn't even bother watching Morikawa to see whether he hold it or not. He was finishing second anyway. Straight over, switched over to Live and just caught the last hole. And yeah, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, Carlos Ortiz is winning by 2 shots here. This is
buzzkill.
And then they're trying to say, oh, Moron's in the bunker. This could have big implications for the cliques. And I was like, oh, geez,
shut up, Ferdy.
But it did. Don't disrespect the competition.
But I don't give a shit.
No, but I'm actually I like Live Golf, and I've said it at the start of the year. I've been watching it. I've been watching it a few times. I like it, and I didn't watch this one, and I don't think I've missed much. That's the thing. That's what's annoying. I just wish it was on TV.
Why it is on TV?
No, but like proper TV.
It was on DAZN or whatever.
DAZN. I think Disney Channel. Like I don't know what it's on.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're a Sky
even just going through the top 10. Like, there's one player you'd watch, and it's Koepka, and he was 9th. Yeah. Genuinely, like, they're not getting the leaderboards.
No,
not now. They were at the start of the year. And they will, between now and the end of the year, they'll get bigger leaderboards. But, like, lads are just using this as, like, it's like if it was a horse race, they're just going out for the trot, like, the week before the US Open.
You've got, like, the likes of, like, Patrick Reed didn't even bother trying to qualify for the US Open.
Yeah.
Louis Oosthuizen got invited to the PGA Championship and didn't bother going and didn't like. There's so many of the guys now that are just couldn't really give a shit.
I haven't worked it out.
We kind of think that's the way it looks.
We're saying like Scottie Scheffler earlier on the podcast made 24 million. Like I haven't worked it out, but I wonder how many guys on Live have made 24 million this year. I'd say there's a lot of them.
I wouldn't think so.
Was you not?
Joaquin Neiman, maybe. I wouldn't say anybody else.
Well, how many stacks for finishing second and third?
But how many Live events have there been? Have there been 8? Like to earn 24 million in 8 events, you'd need to average 3 million an event, which.
All right, I take it back. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. Like
that's all right. Apology accepted. You see that, Ronan?
That's how you do it.
That's how you apologise.
That's how you do it.
You're just soft.
Down.
Anthony Kim finished well anyway.
Yeah, he got 90 grand for himself this week, I think, didn't he?
Did he?
70.
Him and Brandler having some tit for tat online. Did you see? Did you see the podcast that Anthony Kim did saying about? Did you hear that during the week?
Oh, is it if we want somebody to come to if we want
a Corn Ferry event?
Yeah,
or something.
If we want somebody to say what it's like to win a US Open,
yeah,
we'll talk to somebody else. If we want somebody to tell us what it's like to miss the cut of the Corn Ferry event, we'll call you.
It's crazy. Like it's just a tit for tat, childish. But that's Live Golf.
Why are Live holding an event up against one of the PGA Tour signature events? I mean,
that's their MO. Like until the boy, like they all sat down in the room last week. We're 1 year on now from June 6th last year when they said, listen lads, we're going to change the world here. We're all joining up. We're going to do like. It's taken them a year for them all to sit down for 3 hours in a room. They sat down last week and the PGA Tour came out with some bullshit statement again of a statement that says absolutely nothing, only we have talked to everybody else and we now realise we have to sit down in a room with Yasser and work something out. Like, it's just the way it is now. PIF are just 100% getting their own way in everything they ask for from here going forward. The way this has been negotiated at board level and handled from start to finish, how these lads on the PGA Tour are still in jobs on the board is beyond me.
But I mean, we've all made no secret of the fact that we just want the best players to work back together again, playing together again. But I mean, like from McIlroy's sound bites, it sounds as though the model may be that the two of them exist as separate entities, and there's a little bit of crossover at various points in the season, which realistically is probably going to be like in the fall season, as the Yanks call it, in the autumn, when the events mean sweet fuck all in a way.
Yeah.
Like
when the majors are over.
If that's what the tour is coming together again, is like the CJ Cup, we're going to have 5 Live players in it, and the Live Hong Kong, we're going to have 6 PGA Tour players in it. You know, forget it. Like that's only going to make things worse. Yeah,
like there's still a lot of animosity there, and I've a little bit of sympathy for a few players. I've some for more, like Lee Westwood's out with the violin there last week on Peter Finch and all that. No, I've no time for him whatsoever. Like, you don't deserve. You've taken the money. You haven't paid the fines. You get down off your high horse. You've chosen your path. Go that way. Bernd Wiesberger, a little bit different. He's been stopped entering a co-sanctioned event. He's paid all his fines. He's now a full member again he never resigned his membership.
Yeah.
Wasn't part of any litigation. Knew he made a mistake. Came back. Didn't like it.
Yeah.
And now they're stopping him playing I don't agree with that.
Yeah, he wasn't a PGA Tour member. Yeah. He's never been a PGA Tour member. It's not, and the PGA Tour never wanted Bernd Wiesberger. No. It's not.
They don't want Bernd Wiesberger. I'm pretty sure Harrington didn't want Bernd Wiesberger, but he was there in 2021.
That's right. Remember, was it Rory? Was it Rory bogeyed like the 72nd hole in a tournament? It was a completely inconsequential bogey to Rory, but it got Wiesberger one spot up in the rankings. It got him in the direct. I have a feeling somebody might fact check me on that. I'm out there to be proven wrong.
You're open to apology. This is the thing.
Oh no, I won't apologise. Fuck that.
Oh, sorry. But it's just some of the tit for tat just needs to be. They need a bit of cop on. Like, they need to let businessmen make the decisions now.
After Richard Bland won the senior PGA and the
he's
PGA
not
Tour,
allowed.
out of nowhere, without come out and say, you're not allowed to play this, the Champions Tour. And
It's not a sanctioned event. It's a major.
But he's like, he has zero interest in playing the Champions Tour. He's playing for $20 million purses on Live. He doesn't want to go and play like for a $1 million purse on the Champions Tour. You play a major, but that's a different story.
It's crazy. No, it is crazy. Right. Anything else in Roundup that you want to touch on?
Jake Whelan won the Connacht Men's Stroke Play Championship there at the weekend in Portumna. Rounds of 70, 74, 67 and 73 gave him a one-shot win over David Howard of Foda Island on 4 under par. Only 2 boys to finish in red figures over the 4 days, so it was definitely playing tough.
And else? You were at the East last week.
That was weird. That was weird. Right, so Keelan Rafferty, who eventually won, played outrageous golf. He was 8 under for 17 holes. Had a 4-shot lead with maybe 3 or 4 holes to go. Then Max Kennedy makes a couple of birdies. All of a sudden the gap is 2. And he's unaware of this, and he just completely hacked his way up the 18th, 3-putted for a bogey. Thinks he's completely lost. He's walking off the green, cursed himself and all that. Collie Campbell has to come in, put the arm around him, say, no, you haven't thrown it away, you haven't done this, blah, blah, blah. And there's a huge crowd. There's about 400 or 500 people here. It was massive. And Max comes down 18, has a 6-footer to bring it to a playoff for a birdie, and he misses it low, and then there's just this complete silence because you've got 500 people standing around the green from the most anti-climax you'll ever see. And everyone's kind of like, well, what do we do now? And Keelan's off up towards the clubhouse, probably cursing his luck and everything because he's tried so hard to get this second twice in a row, including a playoff loss. He's thinking, I'm after cocking it up again here, a bit like Leeds. But it was great to see Keelan win like 65 in the final round. It's golf that deserves to get over the line in a big championship.
Yeah, it's good. You made your TV debut as well. You're on with Johnny from the Bogeyman doing stuff.
One day you're on the Bogeyman, the next day you're on Sky Sports.
That's what it's all about. I know, it was good. I actually tuned in, watched some of the live stuff that the lads are doing. Really, really good stuff. It's nice to see some live amateur golf on YouTube as well. So no, it's good. I
loved Keelan's quote he gave to you, I think, about if he shot 64, then the caddy had to go off the beer for a month. So he three-putted for a 65. I can only imagine like the caddy being like, what do you got? You got about 240 yards. The caddy said, that's about 160. Yeah, 160. Yeah. You go right at that bunker. I think right over that bunker.
It was definitely the caddy who told him to hit a 3-wood off a hanging lie on the fairway that he scuttered off the right towards the out of bounds fence.
Yeah. No, it was good. It looked like a good event anyway. It was good to see him getting a win. Right. Heroes and villains. There's only one hero this week. It's Paddy Harrington. Hall of Fame.
I think
let's wrap it up on that.
There's very seldom unanimous
no villains. We won't end on a sour note.
No villains.
Westwood.
So, there has to be one.
Westwood. Something. No. Do you know? I read something funny. I put a funny villain. So Jason Day, it was a home event for him at Memorial. That's rain coming down on the roof there.
Outrageous.
I have a match in an hour.
God love you.
It'll be nice fast pitch. It'll be grand.
I have to walk to the train station and then go to this.
Oh God!
I'll get left off one of you lads actually.
But no, in an effort.
Leave now.
Jason Day is at home at the Memorial. Lives near Dublin, Ohio, and his missus last week. I don't know did his missus or did he. Like, he has 4 or 5 kids, so I know how he feels. Especially, I imagine it was him. Like, I need to get a bit of peace and quiet. He slept in his RV out in his driveway. He didn't go into his bed in his house. He slept out in the driveway for the week and got the courtesy car in and out. Which I just found bizarre. I don't know. Did the missus kick him out? We'd put her down as villain, or is he just wants to get away from the kids?
Yeah, I just think he just loves a little bit of
drama,
a little bit of attention. Yeah. A few years ago, he was like, he was blowing into balloons. This was because his back trouble, and he was like, his daily routine, he blows up
vertigo, and he's a hypochondriac.
There's always something wrong with him, and if it's not him, it's the fucking clothing that he's wearing.
Ooh.
The
Malbon.
I mean, they're between him and the company, they're just the most thirsty backers out there.
Right, let's end it on that note.
Good call. Villain of the week, Jason Day.
Jason Day. Right, okay. We're not going to leave it as long. That's been an hour and 15 minutes we've taken of your time, so we're making up for all the time in between that we've lost. Thanks again to Cleveland Strixon for the sponsorship this month. We will be back with a US Open preview later on this week. And cheers for tuning in. Cheers for sitting down again, boys, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye.